Good morning, guys. This is the second cup of coffee, and I think I'm gonna cut myself off after. What do you think? Hey, a few minutes late. Hello, Sonia. I think I saw Catherine hop on as well. There's Kristen. Hey, Carmen's here, and Robin is here. So, I don't know if you guys saw the whole setting the alarm thing. I bet you think I'm going to talk about being late, but I'm not going to talk about being late. So, I wanted to talk to you about setting an alarm. Hey, Jason, Wolf Dreamer 1112. You're friends with Jamie. Jamie's awesome. I'm glad you made it onto the scope. Up and at M. Pam. Hey, Pam. So, what I want to talk to you about is setting an alarm on behavioral change. And what I mean by that, so the very first context in which I learned that was actually from Getting Things Done from David Allen. So some of you may be familiar with that book. It's getting a little outdated by now, but it still is really, really, really awesome for all things organization. So what David Allen talks about is having a special folder. Yeah, he talks about special folder because it still was written in the folder times where you set up 42 some folders for your life. Special folder that is called Someday Maybe. And that's the stuff that you sort of want to do, but there is no particular timeline on it. So you don't necessarily want to work on it right now. You don't have a particular month or date in mind, yet you want to make sure that this is not something that just gets lost, right? So you may see, I don't know, hear about a play or about a sport or about an event. For me, I do that with races. If there's a particular race that I learn about and I just go, oh, I really want to do that one, but it just doesn't have any place in my race calendar. I don't really trust myself to just remember it a year later. So I have some items. Hey, Cameron Hick something. Yeah, Robin can relate very much. She's a fellow racer wanting to do all the races. So I have items in my to-do list, and I use an online task manager with deadlines in 2017, right? So I have just reminders set in my Someday Maybe list, hey Bean, to just remind me to check things off. So one race that I really want to run, and I've heard fantastic recommendations from friends, is thanks for the invitation, Wolf Dreamer. Jason, right? Yes. Thanks for inviting your followers, buddy. There is a race happening in Ithaca, New York, I think. It's called 15K Boilermaker or something. And it's supposed to be an amazing event. Just fantastic vibe, fantastic atmosphere. And I keep meaning to run this race for probably the last 4 years. The trouble with the race, it's in July, which is already very busy racing season for me. And it sells out in hours. How many miles? It's 15K, so it's just under 10 miles, so maybe 9.5 or so. So it sells out really, really quickly, goes really quickly, and it's this very narrow window of opportunity to both register and also to run this race. So things keep coming up. But I have a to-do item in my application that I use that I kind of postpone by a year, and I think it's due around November, which is when the registration goes up. You're 14 and you try to do a 5K or 10K every month, and you ran cross country. That's pretty cool. Wow, that's actually pretty aggressive racing schedule there every month. Very cool. So when I talk to clients about a particular behavioral change that they want to pursue, sometimes what comes up is that they want to do something, but it's very clear that they don't want to do it right now. They're not ready to do it right now, but they definitely want to address it in the future. So one strategy that can be used, and it's used in a number of coaching and counseling approaches, is kind of pressing what's the word I'm looking for? What's the button? Snooze button. Pressing the snooze button on a particular behavioral change. So let's say someone says, I really feel like I want to decrease my drinking, right? Like that seems to be an issue, but I'm not ready to do that right now. Right. So one of the approaches that I may take is actually asking a client, and they may or may not be aware at the time, but just asking a client if they were to consider reducing their drinking, when do they think they might be able to do that? And that may be, in a week, or it could be in a year. They could say, things are really stressful at home right now because, I don't know, my kids are really small, right? Or my mom's at home. Do you think this would help with addictions? I think it can help with addictions in a sense that setting an alarm, setting a snooze button can postpone dealing with addiction that you're not ready to deal with, if that makes sense, and just take the pressure off, right? So that way that it's taken care of, that it will come up. Perfect, great question. See, if you ask a question, it's you can be pretty sure that somebody else had that same question as well. So, and I mean, with a race, it seems like a really simple example, but you notice that it can apply to the bigger behavioral changes as well. There is something to be said for postponing and having a very specific deadline for something that is far away, because I don't have to think about it continuously, right? So, which is why I have to-do items that are kind of hidden away in that someday maybe folder for things like setting a dentist appointment. Like I don't have to set one up every month, but I have to set one up every year. So after I have a dentist appointment, one action item for myself is to actually put it in my calendar, put it in my to-do list, and attach a tag on it so it's due in a year. And then in a year, I've completely forgotten about the fact that I even set it up, but that it just jumps up. So it tends to work really well. So for your challenge today, I want you to consider if there is a particular behavioral change or maybe a particular event or a skill that you want to learn that you want to pursue but are not ready to pursue right now for whatever reason. And can you think of a way in which that you can postpone it? I use Todoist, so it's To-Do, Todoist. I've gone through a number of apps, and I really, really like this one because it allows you to have folders, subfolders, projects, and it is also not operating system specific or device specific. So that means that I have access to it on my phone, on my laptop, on my computer. It updates, as I add things to one or the other. That's also where I keep my grocery shopping list. So it works really well. So that's about it. Setting an alarm for later time, hitting a snooze button on behavioral change. Asana, yes. Thanks, Kirstaline. I heard good things about asana. I try to not overwhelm myself with other options once I find one that works, because the way my brain is, I will just completely lose myself in all the other apps. Don't even ask me how long it took me to actually pick one. So it's always a little bit of an overwhelming experience. Google Keep is what Bean uses. And thanks. Yeah, so Crystalline uses, what did you just say? Use Asana. Asana and Google Keep, if you guys don't have a to-do list in mind, then check those out too. Remember the Milk will be another one. Wunderlist will be another one. So there you go. Go play. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.